This just in, ladies and gentlemen. No one is coming. It's up to us. That's right. Your big Patriots Cowboys preview. We don't have any fancy guests. We don't need any stars above the marquee. Oh, no. The only star we need is on the side of the helmet of the team the Patriots are lining up to beat this week as they try to even their record at 2-2 on the 2023 season following their big win last week. Big win. Well, they snuck out of the Meadowlands with a 5-pointer that they barely earned. Anyway, that's what's going on. That's our new slogan. It just happens to coincide with the Patriots, too, as we bring you the latest and always greatest edition of Six Rings in Football Things, brought to you by our friends at WEI Odyssey and 2400 Sports. You got your old pals, Nick Fitzy Stevens and Andy Jumbo Hart. And Andy, let's just get right to it. Today's preview will be our look at Pats at Boys, Sunday 425 from Jerry World. And, of course, the preview portion will be wrapped up with our FanDuel Sportsbook Bet of the Week. Thank you to our presenting sponsor, the FanDuel Sportsbook. FanDuel, make every moment more. Sign up today if you get a chance using FanDuel.com/6rings. Andy and I will each offer our pick on the game as well as a bonus bet that you can find on America's #1 rated sports app. Then in the back half, Andy had a chance to sit down or stand up, or I don't know, maybe they leaned against a wall. Who knows? But he had a chance to chat with Kevin Stone from New England Football Journal this week. They talked all things Patriots and the state of Pats Nation. And hopefully tomorrow we'll be back with our Behind Enemy Lines portion, talking to a podcaster or broadcaster from the wide world of Dallas and Dallas Cowboys football to get you guys even more prepared and ready. Andy, Patriots' new slogan, no one is coming, it's up to us, as seen on the back of the throwback style sweatshirt all Patriots members, the players, were given Wednesday in locker room availability. Mike Reese was the first one to tweet it out. Apparently, these throwback sweatshirts were gifted to every player by none other than Joe Judge. I have seen a split reaction on the X, the social medias, where some people have said, I like it. It's a rallying cry. It's galvanizing. That's the team motto. Okay. And I've also seen, I hate that it's from Joe Judge. Also, I hate the fact that basically this is management's way of saying, like, shut up and suck it up. We're not going to be trading for any wide receiver ones or other players. You guys are the ones that need to prevent the other team from scoring and do more scoring yourself. All right, weigh in. Your thoughts.
Terrible.
All right.
It's a horrific slogan. I don't understand what the positive message is supposed to be. I mean, if you wanted to go old school, us against the world, they hate us because they ain't us kind of thing. Okay, those are good slogans. This is almost like an admission we're not that good, but we sure as hell got to figure out a way to try to win football games. The only thing that I find interesting in this is we can now have a 3-part debate as to what Joe Judge is worse at: head coaching, offensive coaching, or slogan management, because all three he fails miserably.
Just motivational speaker, if you will. I mean, like,
terrible.
But I guarantee you, if they sell these at the pro shop, it'll sell.
Well, that's because you people are stupid.
I say, okay.
Because Patriots sells.
3 minutes and 10 seconds into the podcast, Andy once again made sure to let Pats fans know that they're stupid.
Well, they do stupid things. Sorry, they're not stupid. They do stupid things.
No, it's on
you
the
would
record.
have to ask. I would buy the sweatshirt if I could ask for a blank back. I don't want the stupid slogan on the back.
You can get a Pat the Patriot throwback sweatshirt at the pro shop. Right. I will not be sharing my 30% discount code with you.
Well, I have those and I have the discount. I just don't need more with a dumb slogan on the back that almost look half-assed. Like, it almost doesn't even make sense to me. I could not dislike it anymore. I don't really.
So what do you think the purpose of it was? I mean,
us against the world. I think it's an us against the world.
It's a variation, yes,
but it just go us against the world. Like, I don't know. I just think it's bad. I don't think it's a good message. I don't like the whole thing. I don't know.
But they already did New England versus everyone, that. Like they needed a fresh spin on that.
Wasn't New England? Was that a real one or a fake one? Was that
that was a real one. So what happened was originally it was Detroit versus the world.
Yeah, and so that's my point. That was
basically slogan. It was like it was co-opted or licensed by, and then other people used it in the area. And I know
I don't care about that
brand that sent it to the Pats, and the Patriots used it.
That's different. That's marketing. You know, New England owns the East. The East runs through New England. Like, there's been these Nike ones over the years.
Those are called vintage.
This is not this is not Nike. This is the team.
Homemade. Screen, like he bought a bunch of throwback sweatshirts and screen printed.
Yeah, this is bad. This is bad. I mean, I'll be honest with you. If I were Bill Belichick, I would not have allowed them to be distributed. I'd be collecting them now. I don't like it. I would pull.
Oh, he's on board with it because he didn't send any other reinforcements. That's the whole thing. I bet signed, sealed, and delivered. Team Belichick was like, "That's great. Yeah, that's totally the message."
I think he sent reinforcements. They're just not good. Juju was supposed to be a reinforcement. He's the worst receiver on the team.
It was interesting that of all people to be wearing "No one is coming, it's up to us" would be the guy who came here and has not been able to bring a lot of up to.
Right. And to me, that is the problem. The guys that you brought in to be the impact guys, the additions, whatever, some of them are just not doing their job. I would say Gesicki and Juju are sort of top of the list. By the way,
way less issue with Gesicki.
Kevin Stone and I will be talking about Gesicki in our bet in the interview you hear in a little bit on this podcast.
Ooh, all right. Well,
my free beers are officially on ice.
That is a big market tease. Oh, is that for the 12 touchdowns for Gesicki?
I don't think he's going to get there.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so either.
Someone needs to get him a shirt that shows him where the damn end zone is.
Okay, so for example, a tiny stir, if you will, a little hub of the bub was made this week on the Patriots related socials about hey, maybe if Denver continues to watch their season go down the drain, perhaps Sean Payton, if he's not too busy blaming other people for his team's woes, would pick up the phone if Bill Belichick called about a Jerry Jeudy type. And could the price even be going down from the exorbitant price they asked during the offseason? Side note, I think all Patriots fans should be Bears fans this week because an 0-4 Broncos team could definitely lead to some roster dissolution and maybe just being able to pick up someone like that. So does a slogan like this basically say to everyone, it ain't happening, guys, so don't even hold out hope?
No, I think you could still have a trade. You could still have addition, whatever. It just hit me. I'm not as worldly as you pretend to be. But is this...
so that not only did you have to defend your microscopic existence, but you also then had to take a shot at mine. That's so kind of, I mean, really, you're on a roll so far today.
Is there any chance this is a real quote from like a military battle, from whether the Revolutionary War, I don't know, modern war, a book?
I am Googling it right now. Fortunately, no one is coming. It's up to us.
Doesn't it feel like it would be? Like we're stuck on an island, we're being ambushed, the only way out is us, or doesn't that feel like...
No, this is as a matter of fact, there's a website called 30secondsout.com. This is kind of a big thing.
I figured. The more we talked about it, I was like, this has to come from military. This has to come from some...
Yeah, like there's a morale patch. No one is coming. This is a military...
I figured.
Yep.
I don't love it still, but
what done is often no one is coming means the coast is clear. Frequently it portends a sense of false security. Okay. All right. No, that's no one is coming, not no one is coming. It's up to us. Yeah. How about that?
But the difference is, and the reason I accept it for the military is that's the reality. If you sign up for the military, there's a chance you're put in a situation where you can't get help. There is no, this is just a football team. They can get help. They can sign players. They can trade players. They can change things. So I don't love it for the football perspective, but I figured it had to have had a militaristic.
And we would think so with Joe Judge and especially Bill Belichick, naval background, blah, blah, blah. 30 seconds out, 30 seconds out. It's short for 30 seconds out, originating from the military. It's usually the last time signal you get before getting to the objective. It's when the endorphins kick in and you need to execute and perform at the highest level. Okay. So yeah. Someone is drawing from a militaristic inspirato with this as well.
Those usually don't go well in football these days. The bullets start flying. There's no bullets flying. It's just football.
Nope, we don't like that as well. Although I will say sometimes these Patriots games do feel like the Battle of Gallipoli, where an undermanned team tries to charge into battle and it doesn't end well for them.
Wow, no faith.
It's a pretty good pull, but again, also, me pretending to be so worldly. Obviously, I could only have looked that up. I would never know as much. All right, let's get to the game. So Andy's not a fan. I like it, of course, but that's because I always fall prey for the marketing and whatever they spoon feed me being a member of the Foxborough faithful, the you people of the world, if you will. Hopefully, this sort of rallying cry, this is a little galvanizing moment for the team. They decide to fortify their ranks. So, close the circles. The Buffalo Bills, supposedly no one circles the wagons like them. Well, maybe this works for the Patriots and maybe it doesn't. But I will agree that if it came from anyone else, people would probably be a little more excited about it. But the fact that it was handed out by Joe Judge, yeah, it's not going to be a very popular move.
Well, and I did. So I saw the slogan, and then very quickly thereafter I saw Judge. When I saw the slogan, I was like, I don't really like it. And then I saw Joe Judge, and I was like, no, I definitely don't like it.
I officially don't like it. All right, let's get into our game preview itself. Pats Cowboys, Sunday, 4:25 p.m. On a Sunday that has a lot of marquee style games. We'll get an idea of what's going on in the AFC East. The Patriots could be playing for a first place three-way tie, depending on how. No, they would actually be in second place. I apologize. They'd be playing for second place in the AFC East. Actually, it would be third place because there'd be a tie at top. Okay, so the Patriots need to win on Sunday. The Buffalo Bills and Miami Dolphins play at 1 o'clock in Orchard Park. The Dolphins are a 2.5-point dog in that one. Should be a hell of a game. Hopefully that serves as a nice appetizer to Patriots at Cowboys. Right now, Andy, the Cowboys, usually home field, as we like to note, it serves up a 3-point favorite. So the Cowboys are actually a 6.5-point favorite in this game right now. How do you think the Patriots attack the Cowboys? What'll be their game plan? And what about the Patriots scares you in terms of the way the Cowboys play football? Of note, the Cowboys went on the road last week after 2 dominating efforts against the Giants and the Jets. They couldn't beat up on a New York football team. They went to the desert. Their fans brought the fight to the stands. They did not, losing 28-16 to the Cardinals, who were begging to be beat because they want to tank for a top draft pick. So give me your thoughts, Art.
So I think the Patriots need to run the ball. I've written about this. I've said this, TV, radio, anywhere that listens. I think you need to get Rhamondre Stevenson going. This is a good opportunity to do that. Dallas Cowboys rush defense is not good. I think it's 26th or 7th in the league. They gave up 220 plus on the ground to the Cardinals. Cardinals were hitting big plays. They ran the ball all day the way they wanted to. I think 3 different guys led by James Conner were over 50-something yards each. Each guy had like a 40-yard run. Like, they were moving the ball on the ground. Patriots with Zeke coming back and trying to play.
Gosh. Look at that. They gave up over 200 yards to the Cardinals, led by James Conner, 98 yards on 14 carries. Joshua Dobbs, the quarterback, had 6 for 55. Side note, that video of Josh Dobbs this week trying to go to the Arizona Cardinals team store and get his own jersey and unable to find it. Hilarious. Rondale Moore, the wide receiver, 3 for 54 and a tutty as well. Wow. Now, Tony Pollard himself did find success. He had 23 carries in bell cow style for 122 yards. But yeah, you can run on the Cowboys for sure.
Absolutely can run on the Cowboys, and you're going to need to run on the Dallas Cowboys because you have Micah Parsons to deal with. You have that pass defense. I think you want to try to alleviate the pressure on Mac Jones as best you can. And I'm a believer of those pass rushers. I'm old school cliche. Run at them. Make Micah Parsons' life hard by saying Trent Brown's going to run down your throat and we're going to try to run you over. But more importantly, I think you need a spark. And, I've believed all year it's Stevenson. Like, those are your potential star playmakers. Get Bourne going, get Stevenson going. He can't average 2.9 yards per carry in this game, and you expect to win. I think you're looking for the breakout day. He mentioned it. He talked about it. He knows he's not running well. He talked about wanting to get back to breaking tackles and making people miss. And the offensive line, David Andrews talked about, they're finally getting practice time together, getting the guys out there together. And he's like, that's huge. Well, we knew that. We told you that in the summer when it wasn't happening, that it was huge. But it is good now. So I think they're going to look to run the football, set up the play action passing game, and all the things that can come off of it. Stevenson, big day, baby.
Yeah. Now, I think also, don't forget, could be a little bit, you got some revenge game factors. Steph Gilmore now anchoring the Cowboys secondary after Trayvon Diggs injured his knee in practice and is out for the season. So we're going to have a reunion with the old Gilly Lock again as well. The Patriots were rumored to have wanted Gilmore to return this past offseason. That would have been a nice depth addition. Sadly, he chose elsewhere. Patriots should be getting a little healthier in the secondary. Not so much on the defensive line. Daniel Ekuale down for the season with a torn biceps. Manny Jones, he of the Cardinals and Steelers practice squads in his brief pro career, signed to the Patriots practice squad to provide a little defensive line depth. Hopefully, Jonathan Jones returns to action this week. Devon Godchaux, injured in last Sunday's game, but a participant in practice. So hopefully he's good to go, and they'll need him against that big, bad Cowboys line and Tony Pollard, who the Cowboys favored as they eschewed and parted ways with Zeke this week, this offseason. I like the Zeke-Rhamondre tandem. As a matter of fact, Andy, if the Patriots are going to stay in, if not win this game, they're going to have to be a 1-2 punch. And yes, they need to come out early and set a tone and a precedent and a style. And hopefully they'll actually have the same offensive line that they trotted out last week, being Brown, Strange, Andrews, Onwenu, and Lowe. Maybe that is the line they go with going forward. It would actually be nice to see some offensive line continuity. That is key to success, communication, and productivity as well. I think the Pats are going to be able to run the ball. What will Mac Jones find, though, if they do try to set up the play action game? You want to see a spark. You want to see Kendrick Bourne get more involved. Anything involving, I almost want to see them not throw to Devontae Parker and Juju Smith-Schuster at this point now, because it's diminishing returns. Could Pop Douglas find some holes and seams in the Cowboys secondary, or will Mac Jones just flat out not have enough time because of that pass rush with the Lawrences and especially the Parsons?
Well, he's been good under pressure this year, and he's gotten rid of the ball quickly. So he will have opportunities to get rid of the football. Parsons is, as they say it, Max said, it's the best player we faced all year. Guys are talking about he's a top 5 player, not a top 5 defensive player. Like the whole
LT
thing.
comps, the whole
He's
shit.
real.
I mean, yeah.
He's real, but
does Belichick love him? Oh my God.
And he should. Everybody loves him. I mean, he makes me laugh when he's on some of his podcasts and things he says. I still enjoy the threat to Tyreek Hill. If you come near me, I'll put you in the blue tent. That's old school trash talk right there at its best. But
you mean aspiring porn star Tyreek Hill?
Yeah, I'm not really as interested in that. Although I've always wondered, a man who's best known for his quickness, should he be looking to go in the porn industry?
All right, we'll just go right ahead. Once again, thank you to our sponsor, FanDuel. FanDuel, make every moment more. And Tyreek Hill wants to make every moment score. All right. So where were we? Yes, exactly.
You asked me about porn.
Yeah, I didn't. I just made mention of the fact that a very successful, elusive, fleet-footed wide receiver mentioned that he would like to go into the adult film industry when he moves on from football. And even Mike Evans was like, yeah, no, it's going to be a no for me, dog.
Hey, you got to do you. That's everybody's got to do themselves.
Well, actually, sometimes on certain channels, people do, and it's really kind of upsetting.
That's true. Okay.
Yes.
Let's get back to football.
Let's get back to football. So, will Mac Jones have enough time against those?
Last time we saw Devontae Parker versus Stephon Gilmore, it worked out well for Devontae Parker.
That was 4 years ago.
Yeah, so
I don't know how I feel about that now. I mean, can Parker make it through the whole game? Can Parker get open? Will he be able to use his size and height advantage? I mean, I would think that you'd want the tight ends and Pop Douglas and expose the gaps in the secondary if you're able to establish the run game. But it all hinges on that, obviously. Or as you like to say, it's hingent upon that.
It is hingent upon that. It's also hingent upon, do the Cowboys figure out how to play without Trayvon Diggs? They did not last week. They did not look good. And I heard some talk out of Dallas that really hurt them. They struggled to sort of find their way after losing their number one cornerback. Not something the Patriots are worrying about right now because they are finding their number one cornerback in Christian Gonzalez. That's a side aspect where it's not fair to him. I think this is totally unfair, but I completely presume he is going to be fine against CeeDee Lamb, who is a very, very good receiver. I don't know if he's a top elite receiver, but he's very, very good. And it's reached the point just 3 games in where I go, he'll be fine. Gonzo will take him in the
3 games into his rookie season. We now have the kind of Revis Island-esque confidence in young Christian Gonzalez that put him in zone, put him man on their best guy. He'll be fine. Look, it's a great challenge. CeeDee Lamb's an excellent A1 receiver. I don't think he's going to go off. So will the Cowboys now look at somebody like Christian Gonzalez and say, you know what we're going to do? Let's throw away from 6. Let's go elsewhere. Let's use some of our other guys like, Brandon Cooks, Michael Gallup as well. And, of course, the tight end that we forgot to mention the other day, or we forgot the name of, rather, Jake Ferguson.
Who is apparently dating one of the Who are those two girls that went from Fresno State to Miami? Is it the Cavender twins?
Sure.
They're like the NIL stars of college sports for women.
Okay. Yes.
In
Gotcha.
part
I mean,
because
everyone's
they're,
all about everyone's all about the trailer these days.
well, I mean, they're smoke shows. That's why they're making money. It is what it is.
Okay.
But one of their tight ends is dating one of them, and it's a minor league. Now everybody's like, oh, how come the tight ends are getting all these hot chicks these days and these big time chicks?
Haley Cavender fuels
Yeah.
Jake Ferguson dating rumors. Ooh, look at this. By wearing Cowboys gear in Arizona ahead of game against Cardinals.
Yep.
She is an attractive person.
Oh, yes, she is.
I'll just leave it at that.
Her image is the key part of her name, image, and likeness.
Yes. Nice name.
Yes.
I will give it a likeness, and yes, she has a very
absolutely
pleasant image.
Do the Cowboys adjust a week later post Diggs down? Like, okay, we kind of settled our feet in. We figure out who we are defensively. But I think the biggest thing for the Cowboys' perspective, quite simply, is do they bounce back? And is this a tough spot? Right. Did they get a wake-up call? And I believe they got a wake-up call. I keep using the phrase. I used it with our boy Mike Cadlick. If you want to head on over to the Six Rings Cadlick's Clashes podcast, but professional pride. You're supposed to be a Super Bowl contender. You're the damn Dallas Cowboys. Like, you have aspirations. You just kind of got embarrassed, and I don't need the word kinda. You got embarrassed by the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, when you go on the road as a 10.5-point favorite and lose by 12, that's a show up. You got showed up.
And I think maybe they're the type of team with the type of coach. Had they won last week and had rolled through 3 straight games, then maybe you can sneak up on them, and all of a sudden you're up 10-0 in the first quarter at Dallas. But I think they have something to prove. I think otherwise.
Well, it's Mike McCarthy. Yeah, I mean, they 2-2 would be a disaster.
And you beat 2 bad teams in the Jets and Giants, and then you lost to a bad team
and a decent mediocre team.
Who the bleep are you? So
and the Eagles will likely run their record to 4-0. Like, the NFC East could be over as of this Sunday, depending on what happens between Pats and Boys as well. Dak Prescott. He's been very up and down against the Patriots. Wasn't great in the rain back in 2019. Very good in 2021, despite Bentley punching a ball out of his hands at the goal line. That was more on Bentley than it was Dakota Prescott. To me, Pollard will get his. Cooks is a good receiver. Ferguson will probably find a seam or two. CeeDee Lamb versus Gonzo. That's going to be fun to watch. This game is all about the Dallas Cowboys offensive line and their ability to control the trench and the line of scrimmage. And if Dak Prescott doesn't try to do too much or play off script, if he does and he's running around and freelancing with the ball, Patriots might be able to find one and stay in this game, if not pull off the upset. If Dallas dictates script, tone, and tempo, we may be in for a long one, Andy.
And that's why the defensive front for the Patriots has to control the game, because the Cowboys are going to be without some number of starters on the offensive line. 3 last week, 3 are still banged up. Do they get 1 back? Do they get 2 back? It's not their dominant version of the offensive line.
Barmore's dinged up. Lawrence Guy is grading out very low in terms of defensive tackles this year, which is unfortunate. I'm just letting you know what's
defensive front. We said you're supposed to be the strength. Be the strength.
Show's dinged up. I mean, my gosh.
So now we're already we're making
now we're having a gimp. No, we're having a gimp fight. We have a dinged up Dallas line against a dinged up Pats line. You know what? The hell with it. Why don't you just get out and sling it? Dak and Mac, 45 plus attempts apiece. Let's put on a show for the kids.
Who's Mac putting on a show with? That's fine.
It sounded Barnum-esque. I was trying to get everyone excited for the game Sunday.
Yeah, but I feel like he lets go of the ball. It looks good. If you edit that as an NFL Films, it's like these tight shots, Mac throwing the ball. And then you follow the ball and you're like, oh, wait, who am I following the ball to? And it just keeps going until it bounces on the turf.
Will the Patriots have been able to pump Zeke and Will Grier for enough information to get the competitive edge in this game this week, as Brian Schottenheimer has insinuated and Bill O'Brien laughed at?
We're not doing that.
What about the old dirty McCorkle? Will Mac Jones go for somebody else's berries and twigs on the game?
To stop talking porn. The dirty McCorkle.
That definitely is going to be a drink at Davio's or something like. But Mac Jones, he doesn't like seafood. I bet you. Can FanDuel give me odds on this? Has Mac Jones ever had a martini? That's got to be like minus 1,500. Zero chance.
No, he's had a martini. Absolutely.
Zero chance.
Pampered rich kid like him, he's absolutely had a martini. Bet you he had a martini on his 21st birthday with his dad.
And I don't know. He doesn't strike me as the kind of guy like, yes, I know he's a pampered rich kid, but I don't think like he's like, ew, like he doesn't like seafood.
What do seafoods and martinis have to
They're
do with
often like a nice martini served well with like a little tuna crudo or maybe like a nice, like a rare seared halibut, lobster, Andy, a seafood tower. You ever had a seafood tower, Andrew?
You think I can afford a seafood tower?
I didn't ask if you could afford it. Maybe went to, maybe someone treated you one time.
No.
And then they regretted the decision because you ate nothing off the tower because you don't like seafood.
Oh no, I like seafood. I like everything except oysters. I'm not an oyster guy, but
Yeah,
everything
I like
else.
oysters. I like it. Anyway, I'm saying FanDuel, I need to know, has Mac Jones. All right, that's it. I'm asking Jones and Mego to ask him on Monday.
It'll be the most awkward answer ever. He won't
need
answer
to know.
it. He'll
I want to know.
but he won't answer. He never answers those fun questions because he's scared. You know what?
Oh God! Can people just have fun with a freaking interview? What's going to happen is Belichick can make jokes about Trailer and Travis Kelce making the biggest catch of his career, but Mac Jones can't answer a damn question about whether he's had a martini or not.
That's 100% accurate. Yes,
folks. This also tells you a lot about the state of your football team. That a debate between me and Andy over seafood towers and martinis is more fun than talking Patriots Cowboys. Oh, for the love of the star.
When your number one receiver is averaging 6.6 yards per catch, I think it tells you how fun.
It tells you a lot about what's going on.
Your star running back is averaging 2.9 yards a carry, and your star receiver is averaging 6.6 yards per catch. Wait, son of a bitch. If you add up your two best players, they don't get a first down. 2.9 and 6.6 does not equal 10. Patriots math is bad.
What is going on? What is going on? All right. Well, I'll tell you what's going on. It is time now once again. Before we give you our prediction for the game, it is time now once again for our FanDuel Sportsbook Bet of the Week, 6-ring style. Thank you to our sponsor once again, FanDuel Sportsbook. FanDuel, make every moment more. Visit FanDuel.com/6rings and get in on those bonus bets, the no sweat bets, the same game parlays. Put some money down, get some bonus bets back. There's so many offers, you don't even know which one to choose from. Now, Andy, I'm going to go ahead and give you the game. It is 45.5 for your over-under Patriots at Dallas, 425 Sunday. Pats are currently a 6.5-point dog. Let's each make a pick on the game and give you our FanDuel Sportsbook bonus bet of the week. What do you got?
So I do think this is a bad spot. I think the Cardinals ruined the Patriots' chances to win this game, to sneak up on the Cowboys, to take advantage of a soft Cowboys team with a soft coach. I wouldn't trust the Cowboys if I were a Dallas fan, but I also think they're talented. I also think they are an above-average team. They are at home. I also got a little vibe that the Patriots are, I don't want to say in awe of the Cowboys, but there was some tone and some conversation yesterday about like, we're going to Dallas in that beautiful stadium to take on the Cowboys. And this is an interest, like, it's almost
something
like
wrong with your giant brand new TV and lighthouse, everybody.
You're the effing Patriots. Like you're never supposed to be.
You are, but
you're supposed to bring the show to the place. You're not supposed to be going to the place that is the show. And so there's a weird vibe there. I just don't know that the Patriots are ready to win this game. Mac Jones is ready to win this game. The Cowboys can run it. The Cowboys can throw it. They have a good defense. I think it's a little overrated, and I think it's adjusting to life post Diggs. But it's what we just talked about. Until I see Kendrick Bourne and Rhamondre Stevenson and Juju Smith-Schuster making enough plays for the Patriots to win against a good opponent, scoring some points, I keep telling you this. I'm not a real faith-based person. I need to see it. I need to believe in something I've seen rather than just have the faith that eventually it'll happen. I'm going to lay those 6.5 points. I'm going to say the Cowboys get this done. I think the Cowboys are going to control the game from basically start to finish. So I'm going to say Cowboys. Patriots defense I still like, and the offensive line for the Cowboys is banged up. So I'm going to say Cowboys 27, Patriots 13.
Okay, so that would be an under and a Cowboys cover. Once again, Mac Jones, in Andy's estimation, not able to defeat a team that scores 24 or more points. Well, this will come as a real surprise, but I'm taking the Patriots. And no, that's not a Dallas victory. I think the Patriots, take them on the money line if you want to in this particular case. I have the Patriots sneaking up and keeping pace with the Cowboys all game long, thanks to a spry effort from their Excellent secondary as well. They'll give up some yards to Tony Pollard, but they'll clamp it down against Dakota Prescott. And in the end, this week, I'm calling for a Chad Ryland bomb for the Patriots to win the game as well. That's right. You want to be a star, no better place than in Jerry World when you're on the star. Give me Patriots 23, Dallas Cowboys 20. That's a Patriots cover and the under as well, which I same game parlayed. And my bonus bet of the week, Andy, because you're going to need the Patriots to run the ball soon, often, frequently, and then some as well. Dallas parted ways with Zeke. They like Tony Pollard. He looks good. He's their new primary back. Zeke looked pretty good last week, 16 for 80 against the Jets. I'm going to do a same game parlay, plus 466, laying anytime touchdown Tony Pollard and anytime touchdown Ezekiel Elliott.
Oh, old teammates both find the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
Will the Salvation Army thing be there? Cauldron be there for Zeke to jump in like the old days?
No, but Zeke's going to say, keep feeding me, and there's going to be food flying out of the stands. Oh, it's going to be a scene. I
love
can't wait. Zeke scoring Sunday would actually be great theater, and we need all that to discuss on the Six Rings postgame show.
It would also be good for the Patriots to just, find ways to score points.
Score.
I don't really care who it is, but I am also looking for a anytime touchdown. I've realized I just kind of like Hunter Henry as a player, as a spokesman, as a dude. And I'll be fully acknowledging this. When he arrived, I thought he was going to be kind of a douche. Just like his tone. I thought he had he was coming from San Diego in the Chargers, and I thought he had like a surfer, I don't know. He had a weird vibe, I thought. Just seems like a gosh darn good
a total
dude.
him. Like you thought he was a him bro?
Yeah, kinda. And I don't think he is. I think he's just a good guy, and he's a good tight end. Not a great one. I don't think he can be the spark that lifts the tight end. Lifts the offense, but he can make his plays if you give him chances. I think he's going to have chances to get in the end zone. Patriots have been good in the red zone. So give me a Hunter Henry touchdown anytime for plus 260.
There you go. How about that? All right. So plus 260 for an anytime Hunter Henry touchdown. I got plus 466 anytime touchdown. Same game parlay. Zeke and Tony Pollard as well. Andy has 27-13 Cowboys. And I have Pats pulling off the upset 23-20. Make sure you give us a follow at Jumbo Hart, at FitzyGFY, at Six Rings Pod. That's our preview and our FanDuel Sportsbook bet of the week. And now, ladies and gentle friends, to continue to inform your perspective on all things Patriots, we take you to Andy's chat with Kevin Stone at KStone6 from New England Football Journal at the stadium this week. We'll be back at you at the tail end of the week with a little Behind Enemy Lines bonus segment as we talk to some Cowboys broadcasters and podcasters, telling you what they're saying about the Patriots and how they're preparing for Sunday's big showdown at Jerry World. For Jumbo, for Terp, for Fitzy, I am Fitzy, and everyone associated with Six Rings and football things. That's how we do it. Enjoy Andy's chat with Kevin Stone, and we'll talk to you later, folks.
Joining me now again here on the Six Rings and Football Things podcast at Gillette Stadium for our weekly check-in with a Patriots beat writer is Kevin Stone, New England Football Journal. Kevin, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so we're going to get it out of the way real quick. People that follow us on Twitter may realize that, hey, you're an optimistic guy, and your optimism may have gotten the best of you this summer when you made a certain bet with me for Mike Gesicki that he would have more than 12 touchdown receptions. How's the pace going?
Not great. I knew this was coming. I didn't know when. I knew it was going to come today. It's funny. I texted you this, I think, yesterday when Farrell Brown caught that touchdown, and all I saw was the 8. I immediately put my hands up, and I almost texted you, and I saw the 6 after, and I was devastated watching in New York. Look, I may have had a few beers that night when we made the bet. I also made the bet with Brian Hines from SB Nation, which might have been even dumber at that point. Look, he's been quiet this year. There's no denying it, and the whole offense has been quiet though. So I am not conceding yet. We are 3 weeks in, but I am planning on buying you beers at some point. It is probably already all over.
Okay, so you're not conceding, and that's where I wanted to start because I wrote a little column this morning. It was a questioning column, not an answering column, because that's what we can do in the media. We don't have to come up with the answers. We just ask the questions. This offense is mediocre. I mean, you look at the numbers. They're middle of the road in a lot of numbers. They're actually good in the red zone. They just can't get there enough. They need more points. They're down near the bottom of the league in points. Where is the spark going to come from? Where is whatever is going to ignite them and get them going in the right direction offensively?
I think it's more just, we always talk about them kind of treating September like the preseason.
Yep.
And I think there's still an element of that. This team can't afford it, but I do think they're still doing that right now. The easy answer is DeMario Douglas. I felt like he should be a red zone guy. Maybe not just necessarily a red zone guy, but more a third down guy. But I think it just needs to come with time. And I know that's kind of a cop-out answer, but again, we're only 3 weeks in. Like, there's still, we just heard Matt talk about 5 minutes ago, they're still sort of working through things. So, look, the easy answer is Hunter Henry and Mike Gesicki. For me, I mean, they're two of your biggest targets. But overall, I do think it's just about time and still working with Bill O'Brien and getting used to each other. Again, it sounds like a cop-out, but I do think it's going to be better at some point.
No, I do think it's a process, obviously. And we just listened to David Andrews talk about the offensive line and the fact that, they're coming together and getting practice reps now. And he talked about how huge that is. Yeah. Even though most of them denied it in August when we asked about the lack of continuity and the lack of guys being out there, he acknowledged that, getting 5 guys out there, getting your best 5 guys out there, that should help the running game. They're coming off 150 yards, certainly heading to Dallas against a suspect run defense. Yeah. That's probably part of the process. Can that be the ignition? Because I have thought for a while, Rhamondre Stevenson probably should be your best offensive player.
Oh, yeah.
He has not been your best offensive player to start the year. Can it be as simple as get the line out there healthy together and then get Rhamondre Stevenson averaging more than 2.9 yards per carry?
You would think so, but part of me is actually worried about him. I don't know if you feel the same way. Just watching him run these first 3 weeks, he doesn't look the same.
Nope.
And I'm not sure if it's, again, the offensive line or if it's him. The easy answer is yes. I mean, I covered Boston College last year. Their offensive line was in shambles. This year it's night and day, and you can see them. You can just see the continuity there. It's the same way for any football team. So I do think that's probably the easy answer. But as far as Rhamondre goes, I'm not totally sold that we're going to see the same Rhamondre that we've seen, and I'm not sure why.
So my working theory on that, I'm glad we go in that direction because I think that's a problem. I think he has been indecisive. I think he's pitter-pattering. Yeah. I found it very interesting and telling that Bill Belichick denied that and basically said he has the best vision of any back we've ever had here, or maybe as good as any back we've had here. However he said it. And I think that's one of those doth protest too much. And I don't think it's all Rhamondre's fault. I do think the line is part of it. I think he is not trusting of the hole, so therefore he's looking for a hole rather than just hitting a hole, but because he's not sure that hole's going to be there. So I do think there's some probably positivity on the horizon there, and I think Zeke can help that. I think he physically brought a little bit of a boost last week in New York, and I think leadership-wise, mentality, he's a guy that doesn't dance a lot. He's going to hit some holes, and I think that relationship they have, and he's, Rhamondre's talked about it, looking up to him, and they share an agent, I think, and all that whole thing. So I still have faith in Rhamondre Stevenson that you're going to get, but I also say, this is a week where against the Cowboys, there's sort of a slanting front where he's probably going to have to look for holes a little bit. And we can't be frauds. If he's looking for holes and then pops off a 60-yard run, we can't be like, you're up. Well, no, it's the same thing he's been doing. It just happened to work out. So I am not...
worry might be too far.
Yeah.
Again, he's still very talented. And but I just go back to the workload over the last 2 years. And look, he doesn't look run down yet. It's week 3. But to your point, there's some hesitation there.
Absolutely.
And I wonder if it's just because of, how much he's been through these first 2 years. 2 years.
2 plus,
already.
Yeah.
So, look, I'm not sending him down the river yet by any means. He needs to be a huge piece of what you have. It's just, I don't know if we're getting the same Rhamondre throughout this year that we got last year.
So if I am going to worry, I'm going to spend some of my worry on the receiver position, and I'm going to worry about the fact that Juju Smith-Schuster and Devontae Parker were on the field for 75% of the snaps, basically, last week, and you essentially got zilch out of it. And specifically Juju, if you look at his numbers 3 games into his Patriots career, a guy you chose to go get, you chose to let Jacoby Myers go. Jacoby Myers is making some plays for the Raiders. Not saying all is great in Las Vegas either, but you had a guy that I think Mac trusted, that this offense trusted, that fulfilled the old school Belichickian. What do you want in your receivers? Get open and catch the football. Okay, Jacoby Myers did that, and you chose to let him go. Right now you have Juju averaging 6.6 yards per reception, which unless you're a fullback, is not very good. All his numbers are like 60th, 68th. The yards per catch, I believe, is 130th in the National Football League. I am worried that you're not going to get any return on that investment. And I've seen people already on Twitter comparing it to Jonnu Smith, which I think is actually different. Jonnu they bought in terms of projecting. They were hoping to get more out of. Juju, I think you had a better sample size of who he is, what he's been, where he's been, what. But am I wrong to think that the Juju experiment is already seemingly not going in a great direction?
No, I already think you're screwed. Just to put it blatantly, look, I was high on the signing. I thought he was going to be an upgrade over Jacoby. Again, the whole yards after catch thing.
Yep.
It's all anybody's talked about. But how can you not think it's a bust already? I mean, as far as Jacoby goes, I think there's kind of an element of injury issues with him. He was concussed, I think, week 1.
Mm-hmm.
Was he reliable? Yes. Was he ultimately going to be, a game changer for you? No. So, in terms of third down guys, again, I go back to, I think Douglas needs to be that guy for this team. And I think he can easily be that replacement. But right now, if you're just comparing him to Juju, you made a terrible decision. And the other problem with it is, look, you knew he was hurt coming out of the offseason.
Right.
He was hurt. They still spent the money. They really kind of hid him from us for a while. He talked that one day when we were here, April, May, whatever it was, and we really didn't see or hear from him for a while, with good reason. I mean, for what? We should be very worried. I just don't see, if you watch him and watching high above at MetLife the other day, he can't run. No. He can't get out of breaks. He can't get separation, and really nobody on his team can get separation, but him especially, that's a huge problem because it's, you're not going to get anything for him for trade value, and you're not just going to dump him for whatever money that contract is. So you are stuck with him this year. You need to get something out of him. I just don't know if they can.
I know the Mac haters or whatever don't like to hear it, but the weapons thing is a real thing.
100%.
And I know Hunter Henry just talked about, you can have 5 go-to guys. It's that whole, there's 5 aces on the Red Sox and closer by committee.
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, most teams have a guy that they at least know they have a chance with.
Yep.
And Hunter Henry is a good player.
Yep.
I used the word spark earlier. I don't think Hunter Henry's a spark. I think he's a good player. I don't think he can be the ignition of an offense.
Yeah.
Right. He's dependable. He's reliable. He'll do the job. I love him. I think if you were a better offense with a couple other pieces around him, he'd be even better if he were the third option that could just kind of do his thing, go about his business. But I think it's legitimate that, once again, we're talking about weapons. And I know a guy you and I both love was sort of a consideration in the draft, say Flowers, and you made the right decision. Part of why you're going to be so good on defense is you have Christian Gonzalez.
Yep.
But you still need to find a young, dynamic, we've seen it already, speed. The comparisons between the Patriots offense and the offenses they face every week is glaring. Yeah. And I know that Matt Groh said, if you want speed, you got to draft speed. And he drafted Pierre Strong, no longer here. He drafted Tyquan Thornton. Yep. Still here in body, but not on your roster, on your game field. He's on IR.
Yeah, he's in bubble wrap.
So I still think that might be, you need Al Davis. Al Davis, you should just draft off 40s. You need some speed, but speed that can play and actually be on the field and contribute. So offensively, I still think that's going to be the biggest issue. Defensively, let's get to your area, positivity. We're going to be positive. We're going to talk about the defense. I am higher on this defense than I thought I would be. They have, to me, answered the questions of playing some good quarterbacks, some good receivers, some good offensive lines. Yeah. Zach Wilson is what he is. But they are playing good defense against whoever you roll out against, receivers, quarterbacks. Are you a believer that this defense can get this team over the top, whatever over the top is?
Yeah, and I think, and John Serenity is my partner at New England Football Journal. We both said since camp we thought there should be a top 5, top 10 defense. The talent was always there. Now, a guy like Christian Gonzalez, we need to see it first.
Right.
You watched the other day, he was all over Garrett Wilson.
Yep.
Just all over the field, all over him throughout the afternoon. So he's legit. Yeah, I mean, I think you have, now, I should say defensive line-wise, you might be in trouble now. You just lost Dan Aquale. Devon Godshaw is now, we don't know how hurt. So you might have some problems up front, but in terms of linebackers and speed in the secondary, I think you're okay. Jonathan Jones, an issue still in terms of health, and Jack Jones, who the hell knows when we're going to see him. I'm sure we will at some point. But overall, I think that this team is talented enough to maintain what they've been doing. Now, we see Miami just put up 70 and 700 yards. You held them to 24 points,
Yep.
I think it was. So that's a huge feather in your cap already. Now, biggest problem is late in the season the last 2 years. It's completely faded. Guys like Matt Judon have completely faded late. So we need to see this for 17, 18 weeks now. But through 3-4 weeks, it's hard not to believe that this team is going to do what they've been doing.
So Judon is an interesting guy on and off the field. On the field, he's off to another good start. 4 sacks, the safety, on pace to set a career high for the 3rd straight season in New England. You're getting the ultimate return on that investment. Off the field, he's not a captain, right? He's not a captain. No. But he's become a spokesman, a leader, I think a tone setter to some degree. And I found it interesting. 2 weeks ago, he comes in, we're not a bad football team. Now he's talking about, the negativity and the different things. And I do wonder, I asked Christian Fourier this on our Six Rings postgame show the other day, and he says it happens because I think we see it happen. Is this team ever in danger of going down that sort of split locker room divide where we're a top 5 defense? We keep us in every game. We give you the ball multiple times to close games, to win games, and you don't do it. Is that something that could wear this team down over the course of 8 weeks, 10 weeks as the season wears on?
I think it depends on how it looks. Like, if this team is losing the games they lost the first 2 weeks where you're still in it, I think, the defense can say, hey, it's there. They're going to get over that hump at some point. If you're putting up 15 points again, like you just did against the Jets, well, now the defense is looking, being like, what the hell?
Right.
And look, we were close to the split last year between Bailey and Mack. So,
Devin McCourty admitted that.
Yeah.
That in the locker room there were different sort of people saying one guy, the other guy not knowing.
And to their credit, we never really saw it.
Right.
They played hard every time, and short answer, yes. I do think you could get it. I just don't think you will, because I do think between the defense keeping you in games and the offense being better with Bill O'Brien, I do think eventually it'll kind of all come together. But again, I just go back to, how does it look? That's the biggest thing for me. And I hate to go back to Boston College, but it's the same thing right now. Their defense has kind of held the offense up, and last week the defense gave up 600 yards, but the offense put up 28. If you're a guy in that locker room, how are you not looking at someone? And maybe a better example is the Jets. If you're a Jets defensive player right now, how can you go to work every day knowing you don't have a shot that week? So I don't think it's ever going to be that dire here. But I do think it is possible if the wins don't start coming, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So now we need to wrap this up with, I believe I'm contractually obligated every show or podcast I do. We have to talk about Mac being a dirty player this week. Mac didn't want to talk about it, not surprisingly. He's focused on the Cowboys. He basically did not answer the question at all in terms of whatever happened with Sauce Gardner, and then this sort of general, Chris Long said he's one of the top 5 dirtiest quarterbacks in history, which I don't know who the other 4 are. I was trying to think of who dirty You don't see dirty quarterbacks.
No.
They're just a different breed that are sort of taken out of the physicality of the game. So, simple question, is Mac Jones a dirty football player?
Yes. I mean, at this point, how can you not be? The evidence is starting to stack up against him. And when you have multiple players in the NFL, this isn't just a one-time thing now. I've watched that video like everybody else has 500 times. I can't tell. I'm not sure it was a full nut tap.
Right.
It was just sort of a graze, I think.
Yeah.
Now we're getting into,
where exactly were the nuts and the hand?
Yeah. Seriously. But, I mean, how can you say he's not at this point? I saw or heard a great comparison yesterday. He's the Grayson Allen of football right
Absolutely.
now. And I thought that was a perfect way to put it. Now, look, his teammates are obviously going to defend him.
Right.
But David Andrews talked today, really sort of brushed it off. Like, he could have easily said, hey, we're behind Mac and stuff like that. Didn't say that.
Nope.
Said, I'm focused on the Cowboys and that's
He
about
said,
it.
let Mac handle that, yeah.
I think they know. But the other problem there, too, is he's a captain. You can't be having this crap as a captain.
Right.
And I think Devin McCourty said something, again, today along those same lines. So I wonder if the other captains have kind of a talk with him and that type of thing. But how can we not say he's a dirty player at this
Right.
point?
And that's how I look at it. Yeah, Devin brought up the idea like there's too many of these in a row.
Yeah.
You need to avoid them.
Yep.
Whether you're dirty or not doesn't mean you're a dirty person, bad person. And that's the thing I get back to. I know Patriots fans are very defensive about Mac and he's not dirty. And I didn't say he's the worst guy ever. I didn't say he's a serial, alleged, whatever Deshaun Watson is. Like, I'm just saying, on the field, stuff happens around him.
Yep.
It's like saying you're a really good driver, but you've been in 10 accidents. Well, I mean, accidents happen, but do 10 accidents happen? At some point, are you playing a factor in the accident?
You're probably the problem. It's all.
Right. And I think, I actually wish he would just say, I don't know what happens to me. Sometimes on the field I make dumb decisions. I can tell you this, I'm a competitor, and I sometimes let my competitive juices get the best of me.
I'd
And
rather-
then I feel like just move on.
Yeah,
then everybody be like, oh, you admitted it. Yeah.
I'd rather that because there's some fire there.
Right.
Which and to his credit, I don't think there's ever a lack of fire.
No.
With him, but tone it down. Dude.
It's channeling it or
Correct.
funneling it or putting it in the right.
Which-
Because that's the funny thing is he is the first one to try to look for a flag, flop going out of bounds to see if he can steal something. But he's also the guy who, when the QB sneak happens, the whistle blows once, he's still pushing forward. It blows again, he's still pushing forward. And then he wonders what happens, why guys throw him to the ground. Well, you didn't stop pushing.
Correct.
And at some point, they get frustrated too. So it's a really interesting dynamic for him as a quarterback and as the quarterback of the Patriots. That's always a little extra attention.
I was going to say that doesn't help his cause at all.
Right. So it's certainly not flying under the radar. And Chris Long learned the lesson. Patriots fans are kind of mad at you. They wanted to take away his Super Bowl rings and blah, blah, blah. It's a sensitive topic. But I do think it's as simple as he just needs to be a little smarter. You drop your kids off at daycare and they say, make good decisions today.
Right.
Hey, Mac, when you take the field, make good decisions today.
And I do wonder if that goes back to not just his Bama days, but we always talk about the tennis brat thing.
Oh, yeah.
That's an upbringing kind of thing. And maybe, and I'm not questioning his parents by any means, but at some point when you're playing youth sports, you learn not to be an a-hole on the field. So
Sometimes.
Correct.
Some don't.
So that's more of that's a high school, middle school. You learn that crap when you're a kid. So maybe he just wasn't ever sort of disciplined in any way for doing dumb stuff on the field.
I also think if he wins, some of it goes away.
100%.
Because I think Tom Brady was a baby. I think Tom Brady did questionable things. I think Bill Belichick's a baby, a sore loser. I think Nick Saban's a sore loser.
Yep.
You know how they squash that? Don't lose.
Correct.
Win. Then
Right.
you can't be a sore loser if you always win the game.
Right.
And I think Brady and Belichick and Saban push through those. Mac is a losing quarterback in the NFL. He's struggling to find his footing, make or break year 3. I think that kind of fluffs up some of the stuff. Okay, before we let you go, again, Kevin Stone, New England Football Journal, joining us. Need a prediction. Need what you think could unfold Sunday afternoon in Dallas. The players all seem giddy to play at Cowboys
weird.
Stadium, like against the Cowboys. Big game. This is a very interesting game. So what do you think?
Well, it's just in terms of those comments, it feels like there's still, there's still kids looking at the star on TV.
Yeah.
So that was a little, I don't want to say worrisome, but sort of, looking at awe.
Yeah.
Which
like
I'm more
they're going to a place where big time football
Yeah.
happens, and it's like, wait, you're the Patriots. You're supposed to be big time.
Right.
Football.
I mean, maybe the White House isn't as good as
Right.
as the scoreboard there, but I think offensively they're in trouble. It's just after what I saw last week, you should have beaten the Jets by at least 14. And I know that's a good defense. This might be a better defense, probably is a better defense. I'm not sure how they score more than 17 points. Defensively, we talked about them earlier. Yes, this defense is good, but look, CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, it's going to be an issue. I'm going to say 27-14 maybe, Dallas. I just don't... I feel like that's going to come down... Well, not come down to earth, but I just don't know... Put it this way. If Dallas had won last week, I think it's a different spot. I hate this spot for the Patriots. I really do. It was my first thought when I saw the score against Arizona. It's a weird spot. Dallas can't afford to lose this game. Mike McCarthy can't afford to lose this game, especially with a guy like Jerry Jones pushing the button. So I hope I'm wrong, but I feel like Dallas sort of pulls away in this one.
Okay, he's Kevin Stone. Head over to New England Football Journal. Subscribe. We should say it's one of the more interesting websites out there because they cover everything. Well, not everything. They don't always make it down to the South Coast for high school football, but they cover high school football, college football, NFL football, prep football. They have you covered. Kevin, thanks for joining us. And we'll be back next week here at Gillette Stadium for another in our series of chats getting to know the beat writers. This is Six Rings and Football Things.